The Maasai warriors of East Africa have a saying that has survived 1,000 years of lion hunts and cattle raids. A spear that bends in your hand is not a spear, it is a grave marker. Professional hunters do not romanticize their tools, they depend on them. A licensed professional hunter operating in Botswana, a wilderness guide packing clients into the Brooks Range of Alaska, a wildlife manager controlling crop-raiding buffalo herds in Zimbabwe. These are men and women for whom a single mechanical failure is not an inconvenience. It is a lawsuit. It is a mauling. It is a career-ending catastrophe measured in seconds. In 2026, the rifle these professionals reach for, across 5 continents, across 1,000 different terrain types, is chambered in .308, Winchester. The round that started as a military cartridge in 1952 has become the undisputed workhorse of professional hunting. It hits hard enough to anchor a zebra at 300 yards. It recoils gently enough to place a follow-up shot within 2 seconds. And you can find it in a supply depot in Zambia, a sporting store in rural Montana, or a bush camp in the Northern Territory of Australia. Today, we count down the 5 finest .308 Winchester rifles, built for professional-grade performance in 2026. These are not range toys. These are instruments carried by men and women who cannot afford to miss, starting with number 5. Number 5. Sako 90 Adventure. There is a particular kind of cold that exists only in the Finnish wilderness in November. The kind that turns lubricating oil into paste, freezes ejector springs into rigid wire, and causes lesser rifles to malfunction at the moment they are needed most. Sako has been building rifles in Riihimäki, Finland since 1921. They do not build rifles for the shooting range. They build rifles for that cold. The Sako 90 Adventure is the modern expression of a century of Nordic engineering discipline. At approximately 6.8 pounds, it is the heaviest rifle on this list. But that weight is not waste, it is intention. Every ounce contributes to a balance so natural the rifle seems to swing onto a moving target by itself, a characteristic that dangerous game guides and driven hunt professionals understand immediately the moment they shoulder it. The bolt system traces its DNA directly to the Sako TRG sniper platform used by military and law enforcement units across Northern Europe. The 3-lug push-feed design delivers a silky 60-degree bolt lift that cycles faster than most hunters can think. The dual plunger ejector system inherited from the TRG launches spent cases laterally with absolute authority, eliminating any possibility of a fired case bouncing off a scope turret and tumbling back into the action. A catastrophic failure scenario when facing a wounded dangerous animal at close range. The trigger is where Sako demonstrates genuine mastery. Without removing the barreled action from the stock, a professional can insert a Torx wrench through a port in the trigger guard and rotate a selector to one of 5 precisely indexed pull weights, ranging from approximately 1.8 pounds up to 3.8 pounds. The trigger blade itself travels forward or rearward 7 millimeters to accommodate different finger lengths or heavy winter gloves. Lock time clocks in under 1.3 milliseconds. This is arguably the finest factory trigger system in production anywhere on Earth today. The fiberglass and carbon-reinforced stock shrugs off salt, air, animal blood, and brutal mechanical abuse without warping or shifting point of impact. The entire barreled action wears tungsten Cerakote, a ceramic polymer finish that laughs at coastal humidity and equatorial heat alike. The deal breaker. At 6.8 pounds, the Sako 90 Adventure is the most demanding carry on a steep mountain hunt. Guides packing clients 10 miles into high-altitude wilderness terrain will feel that extra pound by midday. The Sako 90 Adventure retails at approximately $1,900 to $2,100. Number 4. Seekins Precision Havak Element M3. There is a specific professional problem that no traditional hunting rifle manufacturer ever solved cleanly. The guide who spends Monday glassing sheep on a vertical granite face at 9,000 feet and spends Friday running a bipod-mounted precision setup across an open prairie at 400 yards has historically been forced to own 2 completely different rifles. Seekins Precision, operating out of Lewiston, Idaho, decided that was an unacceptable compromise. The Havak Element M3 is the 3rd generation of their answer to that problem. At 5.5 pounds, it carries like a mountain rifle. But underneath that lightweight exterior lives the structural DNA of a tactical precision platform. The receiver architecture is the defining innovation. Seekins engineers recognize that aluminum alone lacks the tensile strength to safely contain the 62,000 pounds per square inch chamber pressure generated by the .308 Winchester cartridge at the lug abutments. Their solution was a hybrid receiver. The majority of the chassis machined from hardcoat anodized 7075 T6 aerospace, aluminum for weight reduction, with the critical stress zones, the lug abutments, and the bolt itself, constructed from high-strength stainless steel. The result is a receiver that handles magnum-level pressures safely, while shedding nearly a full pound compared to an all-steel equivalent. The 3-lug bolt reduces the unlocking rotation to 60 degrees, a short, fast arc that keeps the bolt handle well clear of large objective lenses on high magnification optics, and allows rapid follow-up cycling without breaking cheek weld. The bolt disassembles completely in the field without tools, allowing a guide to purge sand, mud, or water from the firing pin channel in under 60 seconds, preventing the light primer strikes that turn a clean harvest into a wounded animal. Tracking scenario. Above the receiver, a 20 Moe Picatinny rail is machined directly into the aluminum with an integrated bubble level. The PH3 carbon composite stock incorporates an internal aluminum mini chassis that provides an absolute V-block bedding surface for the hybrid receiver, eliminating the need for epoxy glass bedding entirely. The MLOK forend runs a full-length integrated rail, allowing professional guides to mount ARCA bars, night vision illuminators, or heavy-duty bipods without drilling into composite material. The deal breaker. Seekins Precision does not carry the century-long brand recognition of Sako or Blaser in international safari circles. For a professional hunter presenting equipment to a first-time client in a luxury safari camp, that conversation requires more explanation than it should. The Seekins Precision Havak Element M3 retails at approximately $1,800 to $2,000. Number 3. Bergara Premier Cima Pro. Spain is not a country most American hunters associate with precision rifle manufacturing. They think Bavaria. They think Finland. They think the great gun-making traditions of Central Europe. That assumption is about to be corrected. Bergara's barrel manufacturing facility in the Basque Country has been supplying barrel blanks to some of the most respected names in American custom rifle building for over 2 decades. When Bergara decided to build a complete rifle worthy of that barrel-making heritage, the result was the Premier Series. The Cima Pro represents the apex of that lineage, a 5.5-pound instrument that exists at the precise intersection of aerospace material science and field-proven reliability. The stock is where the Cima Pro separates itself from every competitor at this price point. Bergara does not compression mold their carbon fiber. They cure it. The raw composite material is placed inside an autoclave, a pressurized vessel running at extreme atmospheric pressure and elevated temperature, where the ratio of carbon fiber to epoxy resin is driven to its theoretical maximum. Every microscopic void is eliminated. What emerges is a stock with dimensional stability that does not waver regardless of humidity, temperature swing, or blunt force impact. A guide dropping this rifle onto rocky ground from a pack frame is not re-zeroing the following morning. The barrel technology addresses the most persistent criticism ever leveled at carbon fiber-wrapped barrels. First-generation carbon barrels acted as thermal insulators, trapping heat against the steel liner and producing unpredictable harmonic shifts during extended firing sequences. Bergara's proprietary Cure barrel process integrates continuous stainless steel filaments woven directly into the carbon fiber matrix during the wrapping procedure. These metal conductors actively draw heat away from the chamber area and dissipate it evenly across the exterior barrel surface. Field testing demonstrates that this steel-carbon hybrid structure reduces overall barrel temperature by an average of 50 degrees Fahrenheit during sustained firing cycles. In practical terms, a professional guide making a 3rd or 4th follow-up shot on a wounded animal maintains sub-1 MOA accuracy when it matters most. The Premier Action is machined from 416R stainless steel and finished in a self-lubricating Cerakote application. The floating bolt head ensures perfectly perpendicular contact with the lug abutments on every single chambering Cycle. Precision detail that directly translates into shot-to-shot consistency at distances beyond 300 yards. The spiral fluted bolt body channels dust ice and debris away from the locking surfaces, maintaining reliable cycling in the harshest field environments. A TriggerTech primary trigger completes the package, delivering a glass crisp brake adjustable down to 2 pounds without tools. The deal breaker. The Bergara Premier Cima Pro carries less brand recognition inside American sporting goods retail chains than Christensen Arms. A hunter walking into a rural gun store in Wyoming is far more likely to find a Ridgeline FFT on the rack than a Cima Pro, which means handling one before purchasing typically requires a deliberate search. The Bergara Premier Cima Pro retails at approximately $1,900 to $2,200. Number 2. Christensen Arms Ridgeline FFT. There is a moment that every mountain hunting guide knows intimately. Mile 7 of a 10-mile approach. Elevation gain exceeding 3,000 feet. The client is struggling. The horses were left behind 2 miles ago, and the rifle on your back, the one you are responsible for delivering to the shooting position in perfect mechanical condition, feels like it is made of concrete. Christensen Arms built the Ridgeline FFT for that exact moment. At 5.45 pounds, the Ridgeline FFT is the lightest production hunting rifle on this list. That number is not a marketing approximation. It is the result of a manufacturing philosophy that treats every single ounce as the enemy and defeats it through material science rather than structural compromise. The defining technology is the flash-forged stock construction. Traditional carbon fiber stocks are built by layering pre-impregnated carbon sheets over a foam core and allowing them to cure under modest pressure. Christensen Arms abandons that methodology entirely. The FFT process arranges omnidirectional carbon fiber strands in a compression mold engineered to align specific fiber orientations directly against the stress vectors generated by rifle recoil. The result is a monocoque structure, identical in principle to the carbon tub chassis of a Formula One racing car that achieves enormous structural rigidity without foam cores, aluminum bedding blocks, or fiberglass filler. The completed stock, including the recoil pad, weighs under 20 ounces. The pillars supporting the action are themselves forged from carbon fiber, adding thermal stability while removing additional weight that steel or aluminum pillars would impose. The Model 14 Action shares its footprint with the Remington 700, granting professional users access to an enormous aftermarket ecosystem of scope mounts and accessories accumulated over 6 decades. But Christensen has refined this platform significantly. The receiver raceways are reamed and finish machined after heat treatment to ensure absolute concentricity. The dual lug bolt carries deep spiral fluting to reduce friction and channel debris, an M16-style extractor for positive case control, and dual plunger ejectors that launch spent brass from the enlarged ejection port with decisive force. A heavy 32-pound firing spring produces a lock time so brief it functionally eliminates the window between trigger brake and primer ignition, during which a shooter can disturb a superlight rifle off target. The barrel begins as a 416R stainless steel blank, button-rifled and hand-lapped to exacting tolerances before Christensen wraps it in aerospace-grade carbon fiber over a proprietary stepped profile, machined into the steel liner. This geometry creates mechanical interlocking between the carbon shell and the steel core, producing a barrel that exhibits the harmonic stability and heat dissipation characteristics of a heavy bull barrel at a fraction of the mass. A TriggerTech trigger adjustable to 1.5 pounds delivers a brake so clean it redefines what a production trigger is capable of. The deal breaker. The carbon-wrapped barrel of the Ridgeline FFT performs at its absolute best from a cold bore. Guides required to fire extended strings, wildlife control operations, follow-up shots on multiple animals in rapid succession will eventually see point of impact shift as heat accumulates faster than the carbon shell can dissipate it. This is a rifle engineered for the precise, deliberate single shot, not for volume. The Christensen Arms Ridgeline FFT retails at approximately $2,000 to $2,300. Number 1. Blaser R8 Professional 2.0. In 1986, a German engineer named Horst Blaser looked at the bolt-action rifle. a mechanism that had remained fundamentally unchanged since Paul Mauser perfected it in 1898 and decided it was not good enough. The rotating bolt required the shooter to lift, rotate, pull, push, rotate, and lower the handle in a 6-stage sequence that broke cheek weld, disrupted scope picture, and consumed precious seconds that a professional hunter operating in dangerous country simply could not afford to surrender. What Blaser designed instead would take 3 years to become the standard against which all serious professional hunting rifles are measured. The R8 straight pull action eliminates every unnecessary motion from the cycling sequence. The shooter pulls the bolt straight rearward. A spring-loaded radial collet, 14 individual segments arranged in a perfect 360-degree ring, collapses inward, releasing the fired case. The bolt travels rearward, ejects the case, strips a fresh cartridge from the detachable magazine, and returns forward in a single linear motion. The collet expands outward, locking directly into the barrel extension with a contact surface of 96 square millimeters. For reference, the legendary Mauser M98, the action that defeated 2 world wars, locks with 56 square millimeters. The R8 locks with 70% more surface area, containing piezo pressures exceeding 210,000 pounds per square inch without measurable stress on the system. An experienced shooter assaults the R8 in under 1.5 seconds without lifting their eye from the scope, without breaking cheek weld, without losing the target. The Professional 2.0 update, released in late 2025, addresses the areas where the original R8 platform left marginal room for improvement. The synthetic stock now features a steeper, more vertical pistol grip with integrated ambidextrous palm swells, reducing grip fatigue during extended glassing sessions. All exterior contact surfaces are overmolded with a 2-component elastomer bonding process that maintains positive grip through blood, rain, and freezing temperatures. The receiver is permanently embedded within the synthetic stock architecture, dramatically increasing structural rigidity and protecting the core mechanical system from violent impacts during vehicle transport across rough terrain. Every exposed metal surface wears diamond-like carbon A+ coating, a finish so hard it ranks above tungsten carbide on the Vickers hardness scale, providing absolute immunity to corrosion, abrasion, and the caustic combination of salt air and tropical humidity that destroys conventional blued or stainless finishes within a single safari season. The inline direct action trigger transfers energy linearly to the firing pin, producing a lock time of approximately 3 milliseconds, eliminating every trace of creep and delivering ignition so immediate that moving targets at 200 yards have no opportunity to step out of the impact zone between trigger break and bullet arrival. But the single feature that elevates these R8 Professional 2.0 beyond every other rifle on this list is one that no other manufacturer on Earth currently replicates at this level. The entire barreled action, bolt head barrel, and magazine disassembles without tools in under 60 seconds and reassembles with the same speed. A professional hunter running .308 Winchester across the Tanzanian plains for plains game in the morning can convert the identical stock, the identical trigger, the identical scope mount, and the identical zero into a full-power 375 H&H Magnum dangerous game. Rifle before afternoon, the same cheek weld, the same trigger feel, the same point of aim. For the international safari professional who bills clients at $3,000 per day and cannot afford a single moment of mechanical uncertainty, that modularity is not a luxury feature. It is operational doctrine. The Blaser R8 Professional 2.0 retails at approximately $5,500 to $6,500 and worth every dollar of the premium. 5 rifles, 5 different answers to the same unforgiving question. What do you trust when failure is not an option? The Sako 90 Adventure is the choice of the traditionalist. The guide who has worked the same territory for 20 years and demands a rifle that cycles perfectly at -30 degrees Fahrenheit without complaint or ceremony. The Seekins Precision Havak Element M3 belongs to the tactical crossover professional, the operator who needs M-LOK attachment points and hybrid receiver that transitions from mountain pack to precision bipod setup without compromise. The Bergara Premier Cima Pro is the choice of the material scientist, The hunter who understands that Autoclave cured carbon and cure barrel. Technology represent the most sophisticated heat management system currently available in a production hunting rifle. The Christensen Arms Ridgeline FFT is the answer for the mountain guide who has stopped counting miles and started counting ounces. 5.4. 5 pounds of cold bore precision that disappears on your back until the moment it is needed. And the Blaser R8 Professional 2.0 stands alone. Not because it is the most affordable, not because it is the simplest, but because no other production rifle on Earth allows a professional to change continents, change species, and change caliber while keeping the same zero, the same trigger, and the same absolute confidence in under 60 seconds. The .308 Winchester cartridge has outlasted every prediction of its obsolescence for 7 decades. In 2026, paired with any of these 5 instruments, it remains exactly what it has always been. The cartridge that serious professionals load when the work is real, the distances are honest, and the margin for error is 0. If this breakdown helped you understand what separates a professional tool from everything else on the market, subscribe, because next time we go deeper. Time.